Hey y'all, this is Brita for The Happier Attorney, the channel where we talk about flat fees and your mindset and how you can be a happier attorney. And today I wanted to talk about how you think and how you speak to yourself is so important, why it is critical to the use of flat fees and just in general. So I'll tell you what I had just in the last couple of weeks. I had two incidents with clients. When I say clients, I mean attorney clients learning flat fees. And one of my clients, really nice gal, who's doing really, really well with the program, doubling her income. She made a statement about herself to herself, and it was just ugly. It was just ugly. Not where other people might pick it up, but I certainly do. And so I stopped her mid-sentence, and we went back to examine that. She wasn't even aware of it. But I said, if you talk to your child like that, well, I wouldn't. I said, why? Why wouldn't you ever talk to your child like that? Why wouldn't you ever say that to your child? Well, because it would be damaging to my child. Right. We tend to think that because we're adults, the messages that we send ourselves, including tone, don't matter. I can tell you, you're wrong. You're just wrong. When we are saying negative things to ourselves, including tone, it's insidious and it's really damaging. It is just as damaging as if you were to say it to someone else. And I would say even many times more so because we're not even aware of it. And it does affect how we feel about ourselves. It does affect our energy and how we show up, whether we are showing up excited and confident or scared and timid, which of course then affects how other people interact with us. And then we're actually creating kind of self-fulfilling prophecies. So if you're going forward with, oh, I can't believe I screwed up again. God, I always screw up. I can't believe I did that. That's really icky energy. And people can feel that. Other people can feel that. And then they respond. And then that next initial comes in and they're like, they feel that and they don't know what's going on. They probably can't articulate it, but they're hesitant to work with you maybe. And then that further fuels your, see, I can't do anything right. This client didn't hire me. And now we're just going in this downward spiral. Versus when you start being kinder to yourself and giving yourself some grace. And instead of when things don't go as expected, instead of being a total ass to yourself, saying, this is a learning curve. I'm learning. What did I learn from this? Okay, I'm going to change this. I'm going to adjust so I don't make that mistake again. And give yourself some grace. Then you're coming forward with some enthusiasm, some love for yourself, and more confidence. And other people can feel that. And then they want to work with you more. And now we're going in an upward spiral. But half the time we're not even conscious of the really negative and limiting things that we're saying to each other. I had a client yesterday who, in a coaching call, she again is doing great, literally doubling her income without working more, working less. And she started to go through the numbers just for this year, and they're amazing. They're amazing. Like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Look at you. She had barely gotten the number out of her mouth before she said, yeah, but it's not sustainable. So we had to go back and examine that statement and that belief and that attitude. Is it sustainable? Of course it's sustainable. Of course it's sustainable. That's all nonsense. That's a protective mechanism for which I'm not going to get into, but of course it's sustainable. Here's the beauty. She didn't even remember she said it. I said, okay, let's go back and look at what you just said. And she's naming off some of the things that she said, not touching on the sustainable comment. Even when I brought it up, she's like, oh yeah, I guess I said that. She had not even been conscious of her saying it. But here's the thing, her subconscious certainly heard it. And how many times is she saying something like that to herself every day? Over and over and over and over and over. We believe it. Our subconscious believes it. And then we wonder why things aren't going well. So this isn't about just positive thinking or delusional thinking. This isn't sitting here, going, okay, I'm just going to believe that black is white. Okay. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about giving yourself some actual truth. Okay. Of course it was sustainable. And starting to be conscious of what we're saying to ourselves and how it makes us feel. And then how you behave when you feel that way. And what results are you getting? Because again, when you are crapping on yourself all of the time, it's just like if you were to say that to a child or somebody else. When you see children who are in a conflict situation, or when somebody says something ugly to them, you can just see it in their face. They just deflate like a balloon. And I think as adults, we try and pretend that we're not much different, but we are. We are. I know myself, some of the examples that come to mind, I remember a judge once just had a horrible reputation for just being mean and nasty and taking pleasure in embarrassing people and just being mean and nasty, which we're not going to get into his issues. But I remember sitting in court just taking it, because what choice did I have? And I remember thinking, okay, just watch your face, because this MFer will put you in jail for contempt. So watch your face, breed along. Watch your face, watch your face. And I remember I couldn't even hear what he was saying. I just knew the arrows were coming and the arrows were coming and the arrows were coming. And when I left, I was like, just make it to the car, just make it to the car, just make it to the car. And I made it to the car and I just lost it. I just cried. Not because my feelings were hurt, but because I was so angry. I was so angry. It took me days, probably a week, before I was centered again. And here I am still talking about it, and that was well over probably 20 years ago. And when we're doing that to ourselves on a daily basis, maybe not to that extreme, some of you are. I used to be a total jerk to myself, thinking that it was actually somehow going to improve my self-discipline. That's dangerous thinking. You're not improving your self-discipline by being an ass to yourself. Okay? You're crushing your spirit. And especially if you have your own practice, we are, well, even if you don't, if you are an attorney, we are the product that we are selling. We're not selling documents. We are the product we're selling. Our work comes from us. And how you feel about yourself and your mood and your energy is going to affect that work product. Period. We've been on the receiving end of work product of attorneys where you're like, whoa, this guy has some issues. This woman is really unhappy. It shows. Of course it shows. So the first step is if you could start just getting aware, just having a little bit of conscience about how you're talking to yourself. What do you normally say when things don't go the way you expected them to go, or when you make a mistake, when you screw up, especially if it's something that you have trouble with? What do you say to yourself? What do you say to yourself? It's generally pretty similar to what you normally say. You generally tell yourself the same thing. And what is the tone? And would you ever say that to another human being or to a child? Yeah, that's what I thought. If you can just start even becoming aware of it, and then I'm not asking you to take a leap and all of a sudden be nice to yourself, okay? But if you can, how about we just start with not being such a jerk? I used to be a big jerk to myself. It makes a huge difference when you're not. Okay? I promise you, it will make a difference. It will make a difference in how you feel. It will make a difference in your energy. It will make a difference in how people respond to you. You will get better results. Not that that's the reason to do it, but you will. Watch the self-talk. All right, y'all. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.